Have you ever been asked a question that seemed innocent, yet something inside you whispered that something wasn't right? The gentle tone, the harmless smile, they make you drop your guard. But the moment you respond, you realize you've just walked into a trap you can't win. This is the craft of a manipulator. They don't just lie with words, they deceive through questions. And if you fail to see it, you'll end up second-guessing yourself, apologizing for things you didn't do, fighting your own mind instead of the real enemy. The ancient Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, all warned about this. A deceiver rarely attacks directly. They plant quiet seeds of doubt and patiently wait for you to destroy yourself from within. 2,000 years later, that tactic hasn't disappeared, it's simply evolved. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 most dangerous questions manipulators use to control you. And more importantly, how the Stoics would stay calm, clear, and untouchable in response. By the end, you'll have the insight to make sure no one ever plays you like a pawn again. So stay with me until the end. And if this kind of wisdom strengthens you, subscribe, not for me, but for your own growth, so you never miss another idea that could sharpen your mind and fortify your spirit. Question 1. Why are you being so sensitive? It sounds soft, maybe even caring, but it's the first bullet in emotional warfare. Hidden inside this question isn't curiosity, it's accusation. What they're really saying is, you're overreacting. You're imagining things. You're the problem, not me. Think about it. Have you ever pointed out something unfair only to be dismissed with a laugh? You're just too sensitive. Or questioned something unethical at work only to hear, don't overreact, it's just business? That's not concern, that's manipulation. Because what they want is to disarm you by twisting your awareness into weakness. Your sensitivity is not your flaw, it's your radar. The Stoic Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Manipulators exploit that. They plant doubt until you turn against yourself, believing you're the issue. But sensitivity, properly understood, is simply perception. It's the ability to sense what others miss. A financial auditor who spots subtle inconsistencies and gets mocked as paranoid, only to uncover massive fraud later. A wife who notices small shifts in her husband's tone, brushed off as dramatic, until the truth surfaces months later. In both cases, awareness was protection, not weakness. So what would a Stoic do? Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong, I'll gladly change, for it is truth I seek, not victory." A sincere person won't shame your awareness. Only those hiding something will. So when someone asks, "Why are you being so sensitive?" don't argue, don't defend. Simply look at them and say, calmly, "I'm not being sensitive. I'm being observant. Does that bother you?" Watch what happens next. You'll see their mask begin to crack. Question 2. You trust me, right? It sounds tender, almost sweet, but it's not a question. It's a psychological trap. Because trust isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. Anyone who insists on your trust before proving they deserve it has already shown their intention. A trustworthy person never needs to say, "Trust me." Their actions make the statement for them. Day by day, consistency builds trust. But when someone leans in and asks, "You trust me, right?" what they're really saying is, "Don't think, don't question, just surrender your judgment to me." Epictetus warned, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Manipulators use that principle. They try to make you feel guilty for being cautious. They frame your discernment as betrayal. But caution isn't betrayal, it's wisdom. Think of a business partner who hides the numbers but smiles, "Just trust me." Or a lover who guards their phone but repeats, "Don't you trust me?" That's not trust building, that's emotional coercion. And blind faith always breeds regret. So, how does a Stoic respond? Not with panic or emotion, but with calm clarity, apatheia, the Stoic art of not letting emotion overpower reason. When someone says, "You trust me, right?" Pause, breathe, and reply, "Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment?" That one question flips the power dynamic. The manipulator will deflect, get defensive, or change the subject. But a person of integrity won't take offense. They'll continue showing you, through their actions, that they are trustworthy. Remember this: trust isn't a favor given under pressure. It's a fortress built with time, truth, and consistency. And the Stoic never forgets. Surrendering it too easily means surrendering your peace. Question 3. Are you accusing me of something? This one's a masterstroke of deflection. It seems like a simple question, but it's really a shield, a clever way to turn the tables and put you on trial. Here's how it plays out. You raise a valid concern, point out something that doesn't quite add up, or ask for clarity. Instead of addressing your question, they fire back sharply, "Wait, are you accusing me of something now?" And suddenly, you're not the observer anymore. You're the villain. The spotlight that belonged on their behavior now burns down on you. This tactic forces you into defense mode. You rush to explain yourself. You soften your tone. You backpedal. No, that's not what I meant." And in that moment, you've lost your ground. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best answer to anger is silence." But silence in Stoicism isn't submission. It's strength. It's refusing to play someone else's game. Think of a courtroom. If the guilty can make the judge apologize, the entire trial collapses. That's exactly what this question is designed to do. So, how does the Stoic respond? With stillness, with composure. When someone snaps, "Are you accusing me of something?" Don't rush to fill the silence. Maintain your calm, hold eye contact, and after a few seconds, simply say, "Should I be?" Just 3 words, but they turn the pressure back where it belongs. Because manipulators expect panic. They never expect power. Examples: a manager confronted about missing money. "Are you accusing me of stealing?" A partner questioned about secrecy. "Are you accusing me of cheating?" In both situations, the purpose is identical: to make your search for truth look like an attack. But the Stoic refuses to bite the bait. He knows truth doesn't panic, and wisdom never apologizes for observation. Remember this: the person asking, "Are you accusing me?" may be revealing more than they realize. Question 4. Would I ever lie to you? This one is dangerous because it's dressed like love. It sounds gentle, almost hurt, as if doubting them is cruelty itself. But pause and ask yourself, why would anyone need to say this? Unless they already sense you're close to the truth. Would I ever lie to you? Isn't a real question. It's theater. A performance meant to make them look virtuous, and you look heartless for even suspecting them. It's not about honesty. It's about guilt. If they can make you feel guilty for doubting, you'll stop asking questions. You'll silence your instincts and hand them the blind trust they crave. But the Stoics remind us, truth never fears inspection. Seneca once wrote, "If it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it." A person of integrity doesn't need to swear they'd never lie. They simply live in a way that makes deception impossible. Their consistency speaks for itself. Think of this: A partner who hides messages but insists, "Would I ever lie to you?" A coworker dodging responsibility, saying, "Come on, would I really lie?" The more they plead, the more you should pay attention. So how should you respond? Not by scrambling to reassure them, not by defending yourself, but with calm precision. When someone says, "Would I ever lie to you?" pause. Let the silence stretch. Then reply. That's not the question. The question is, would I know if you did? That single response flips the light on, because liars thrive in fog. But once the light of awareness shines, shadows can't hide. Remember, honest people don't fear being questioned. Only liars do. Never mistake the performance of innocence for the presence of truth. Question 5. Can't we just move on? This is the manipulator's final move, the desperation card. When denial fails, when distraction no longer works, they reach for exhaustion. On the surface, it sounds like peace. Let's move on. But underneath, it's not about closure. It's about escape. What they're really saying is, I don't want accountability. I just want this to go away. And this is how many lies survive. Not because the liar is clever, but because the truth seeker gets tired. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Notice he never said, "unless it's inconvenient." To a Stoic, truth has no expiry date. It doesn't fade just because someone wants comfort. Consider this. A company caught in scandal pleads, "Let's focus on the future." A cheating partner says, "Why keep talking about it? Let's move forward." But those words aren't for healing. They're for hiding. They're meant to bury what's still festering in the dark. So what would a Stoic say? Not with rage, not with endless argument, but with calm certainty. I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before. That one line anchors you in truth. It tells them you cannot be rushed, that your peace is built on clarity, not fatigue. Liars thrive on your exhaustion. But when you stay steady, calm, and patient, their game ends. Remember, moving on isn't about speed. It's about honesty. And true peace only begins when the truth is faced. Stoic thinking, the shield against manipulation. Manipulators don't need logic or facts. They feed on your emotions. They twist your guilt, weaponize your sensitivity, and drain your energy until you stop questioning. That's their battlefield. Not truth, not reason, but emotion. And this is where Stoicism becomes your armor. Epictetus taught, some things are within our control, others are not. That single truth is the foundation of freedom. When you know what belongs to you, your thoughts, your reactions, your values, you can't be controlled by their tactics. So when they try to guilt you, remember, their emotions are not your burden. When they call you too sensitive, remember, awareness is power, not weakness. And when they try to wear you down, remember, time is neutral. Truth doesn't expire. The Stoic doesn't react at their pace. He observes, he breathes, he responds with reason, as if holding a sword of clarity steady in the chaos. Picture standing in a storm. The wind howls, the rain lashes, thunder cracks, yet inside, you remain still. That's Stoic strength. Calm when others lose control. Clear when others are blind. And here's what manipulators never expect. Their greatest weapon only works when you hand over your reaction. Take that away, and it breaks in their hands. Silence becomes strength. Observation becomes power. Detachment becomes freedom. So next time someone twists your words or plays with your perception, don't rush. don't defend. Ask yourself quietly, is this within my control or outside of it? With that one question, you reclaim your peace. Calm, clear, unshakable. That's how the Stoic breaks every chain of manipulation. Now you know the 5 questions manipulators use to deceive and control. Each one is a chess move, but you are no longer the pawn. You are the player. The Stoic doesn't shout or rage. He remains centered, allowing the truth to reveal the deceiver for who they are. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all knew the same truth. The one who sees clearly cannot be controlled. So remember, you are not cruel for having standards. You are not cold for seeking truth. You are not weak for noticing deception. You are awake. And in a world of shadows, the awake are feared. Choose clarity. Choose reason. Walk as a Stoic warrior. Calm, observant, unshakable. If this message resonates with you, like the video and share it with someone who needs this strength. And before you go, drop 3 words in the comments that define your mindset today. I choose clarity. Let's see how many of us are walking the Stoic path together.